11 and we've arrived in Cronulla, which is the town that I used to call home. It's south of Sydney and it's going to be really cool to revisit there after so many years. So I'm walking along Kingsway towards the street where I used to live. Things that I remember, there was a diving shop along here, there was a gas station, I think there was a hostel as well, and on the right hand side there was like a Blockbuster video rental. I'm sure that won't be there now. Gosport Street was the street that I lived on, and I remember that there was a 7-Eleven on the corner, and sure enough the 7-Eleven is still there. I think the dive shop is now a surf shop, and maybe the hostel is closed. Whilst editing this video, I realised that I was slightly wrong. The hostel and the dive shop that I remembered was actually next door to the surf shop and is now an apartment building. So the apartment that I used to live in was just over there to the left. You won't really be able to see in there, but I'll spin the camera around in a second, give you a bit more of an idea. But I really enjoyed living there. I probably lived there for about 7 or 8 months, and yeah, it was a really nice place to live. I lived here for about 8 months until my 1-year visa ran out. At first I would commute to Homebush Bay, where I worked at the Olympic Stadium, and then later into the city where I worked Ticket Tech and then PwC. So just grabbed a cheese and bacon roll from Baker's Delight behind me. Baker's Delight was open when I lived here as well in 2003, and I'm sure I used to have the same cheese and bacon roll then. Still tastes pretty good. It would be wrong to come to the beach and not have an ice cream. Well, I made short work of that ice cream. It was really good. Actually, quite a lot of the beach is not accessible today because the tide is all the way in. Surfing is actually one of those things that I've never tried. I have to say that felt so good to walk along the sand. I can't remember the last time I walked along a beach. Really good to be back in Cronulla as well. So now I am going to go and get a drink at Northies. Walked past it earlier. Fun fact, back in 2003 I applied for a job at Northies. If I remember right, it was a security job. I didn't get it, but I do remember sitting there filling in my application form. Cheers. So back at Cronulla station, could get the train to Town Hall and then go back to the hotel, but I would like to go to Homebush Bay, which is where I used to work. I think it would take about an hour and a half to get there. It's 3:15 now, so let's do that. And so far I feel quite fortunate because there was forecast rain today, and so far so good. No rain, so let's hope it continues. So this is the route that I would have taken every day when I was working at Homebush Bay and living in Cronulla. So it's a train from Cronulla into Redfern, change, and out to Homebush Bay, or what was then the Olympic Stadium. At Redfern and onto platform 6 for the train to Homebush Bay. Change of plan, back to Central. The train to Homebush Bay was going to take 45 minutes. Like another hour and a half each way, so decided to head back to Central. I'm sure there used to be a quicker train, so I'll have to look into whether there's a better option. So the T7 is the better option. 3 stops to Homebush Bay. We're going to walk back up George Street, or at least part way up. There's a bar that I want to check out on the way back. So walking towards Haymarket and going to try and find a bar that I used to enjoy going in. We'll see if it's still there. Should be easy to find because it was on the corner. So this is it, the Palace Hotel. I didn't remember the name, but I do remember the location. So let's go and get a drink. So I think I'll be here for a little while. A pint was going to be $12, and the guy said a jug, which is 2 pints, is 16. So I ended up with a jug. Sitting in a pub on your own never gets easier, but it's better than the alternative, which is not to have a pint. Okay, finished at the Palace Hotel. I'm sure that was more than 2 pints, but I also finished the jug. Can't let anything go to waste, can you? So I'm now walking back up to my hotel, walking up George Street, and the time now is 7:10. So I'm just going to chill out for the rest of the evening. Okay, so that's me almost back at the hotel, and that's the end of today's video. It was great to go back to where I used to live and remind myself of what a cool place it is. So going to end the video there. Please do like, comment and subscribe, and tell me if you've ever visited Cronulla, or if you would consider visiting Cronulla on a visit to Sydney.